Hello, welcome to Homey Talks. This is Kristi.
And this is Jennifer.
Coming to you from Second City Distillery, beautiful downtown Augusta, Georgia. And if you hear any of our background noises, they are definitely making product because everything is local. Most everything in here is local. And you should come down and check it out because it's a wonderful place, be a great place. Buy Christmas gifts, New Year's gifts, and just to have a great night out.
If you're a realtor, great for client gifts as well.
Yeah, if you're a
or
realtor,
any local business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if you're looking for something for your clients,
you're having a bad day.
Yeah,
you're having a bad day. You need to come in here and really just saturate your problems.
Yeah,
that should be a good line on a pillow right there. So, Jennifer, what are we talking about today?
So we're talking about navigating new construction.
Oh, that's a good topic.
Yeah. So this one was actually requested.
Yes.
Got a message in through the Facebook page. Yeah. And she wanted to know how to navigate new construction.
Well, that's a very good question because new construction, it can be really hard. I think, we talk about so much about why you use a realtor, why you use professionals. It's because, a lot of people they don't have their foot in this business. So I mean, why not have someone who has a foothold? So I think that would be the first thing. Go through a realtor. Yeah. Just do it and just do it.
And not the site realtor. Bring your own realtor to negotiate for you. Yeah. The site agent is going to be negotiating for the builder.
Yeah.
So have you? Yeah. It can go either way. Yeah, it can go. Yeah, everything can go either way. But have a realtor that you trust.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you don't have to go through the site agent. No. You do not have to. That's a good point. And there's not a lot of site agents that are just being.
Site agents are wonderful. I've had great experiences being on the buyer's side and working with the site agent. Wonderful, wonderful experiences.
Oh, yeah. I mean, most of them really know their stuff.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of brings us to another point. New construction, you can either build on raw land or you could build in a subdivision, what's called tract builds. So, I mean, the developer and the builder have already bought these lands in these pre-planned subdivisions, which is it's a wonderful thing to do because it's a package, if you're looking at the difference, there's a couple ways you can do it. You can do a construction loan. That's usually raw land. But if you're buying in a subdivision, and again, you're building in that subdivision, you can build it from the ground up. But you can actually buy it direct through the builder and still get an FHA loan.
Yes.
Even though it is brand new construction. And that's a huge plus.
That is a huge plus.
Construction loans, you're talking about 20% down. 20% down, lot of issues, it can be done. But, when you're doing in a subdivision, the surprises are minimal. Still surprises, but they're minimal. Raw land, I mean, it's just like a birthday party every day. You have no idea what gift you're opening up. Some of them are good. Some of them are tacky sweater. You just don't know, Yeah. So I think that's the two differences. Your lending can be different. With the subdivision, we'll go subdivision first. You usually have all your choices spread out to you. So I mean, you've got a list of standards and it's all included in that price. So if you go out of that standard, then you're going to have an upgrade charge. But if you stay in that standard, then, you can choose your cabinet color. You can't go crazy with it, but you choose your cabinet color, you choose your carpets, you can choose your floor plan. If you start moving around walls, then that's an upgrade charge, which it should be. I mean, they have to go back to site, they have to go back to plan, rearrange. I mean, everything. It's not as simple as being like, cut and paste in Photoshop. That doesn't happen. I think people think it does. But it doesn't.
Say you're not drawing stuff on cocktail napkins.
No, right. You're like, why can't you just move that wall? It's so simple. Like, there's wiring in there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's structural. Because, the bedroom's going to fall out. So we got to accommodate. So, those kind of things, subdivision, you've got your choices planned out. You pretty much know what's going to happen. And, the other thing too is you have your own agent. So your agent's going to keep on top of you. The agent, the listing agent, both of them are going to be like, you have so many days to pick out your choices. And if you don't, those choices are going to be made for you because you cannot slow down that builder. Everybody's trying to meet the same closing date. So if you do not do your job as the buyer and pick out your doorknobs, then they're going to have to wait on you another day, and that puts their team behind. So everything is, everything is dated. You have to get these things done. And these builders are buying everything in bulk. That's the reason they can give you a very reasonable price. Plus the fact that they've already got the land done. It's surveyed, it's developed. That's a great thing.
It's a wonderful thing.
If you want to have new construction, that is really the easiest way to do it.
Yeah, and if you get into a new neighborhood, you can go out, you can pick your lot.
Mm-hmm.
You can walk the property, you can pick the exact lot that you want. If you want to be in that corner with that tree in the backyard, you can pick your lot. Yeah. So it's not like, lots are assigned to you. You pick your floor plan, you pick that site, but it does have all of those other perks.
Yeah. And just remember, when you are picking your site, when you're picking your lot and your floor plan, you may be limited because there's certain floor plans that can't accommodate the lot, so, they're not blowing smoke. It just can't accommodate. It's not going to work out, I'm like, yeah, you can have that, but your driveway's going to be over here and it's going to be off your property.
Yeah.
It's just, your driveway's included, your garage is included, that kind of stuff is there. And you're going to get a whole list of standards, what's going to go in there. And that should be part of your contract. Most all builders in these tract lots, they like to make their own contracts because they don't want to be sued. Yes. They just don't.
And definitely read it thoroughly.
Oh, yes.
Sit with your highlighter and just go through it line by line. Make sure you read everything.
And, don't take it for granted. That's why you do need an agent too. Don't take for granted that, they're just going to do that. No, you write it. Write it in. You make sure there's documentation. I think another thing that people are not understanding is that, yes, we are in the middle of a pandemic. Production has stopped.
Yes.
It stopped for a good 5 months, or it ran on skeleton crews. Lumber is in demand. Vinyl's in demand, because everything's slowed down, and we are constantly moving. So lumber right now has gone sky high. Vinyl, all that kind of stuff. That's why you see our market going so high. That's why our appraisals are going so high, because we don't have things on the ground. We can't keep up. People are still getting approved. People are still working from home, but we do not have the inventory to give them. So what I would caution you is reading, either you're doing a build in a subdivision, or if you're doing a raw land build, there are act of God clauses. And right now everybody's trying to figure that out. But the builder does not want to get caught off guard. So he will put a clause in there that this is the price, especially in the raw builds. The subdivisions, not so much. But in the raw builds, there's a clause in every contract that states this is the price unless demand changes. And that is your raw lumber cost. Lumber right now has gone up. Builder's not going to eat it. You are. It's just how it's going to be, because again, they got to protect their butt. So no one saw this coming. If you had a house on the ground when it started, you probably felt it. Unless the builder has some kind of bailout, which, I don't know that kind of stuff. I'm going to stay away from that.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But, that's something that we've seen. We've seen that lumber drive up hard. So, those are the clauses that you have to be aware of. And that's the stuff that your agent should be, popping over and saying, did you read this? Did you understand this? Because this is what could happen. Now going forward, we're going to tell everybody, but in case of a pandemic, because we did not see that coming. So, so we talked a little bit about the subdivision. Let's talk about the raw land builds. Jennifer, what do you got to say about raw land builds?
Raw land builds are fun.
We're going to build our dream home.
Yes.
Dream home.
Yeah. So you go out and you pick your property. Then you got to make sure, can you put in a well? Can you put in a septic tank?
Will it perk?
Mm-hmm. Are there public utilities there? What's the neighbors like? What's
the drainage?
Yeah, what's the drainage?
How much is it going to cost?
What's it zoned? What's it zoned?
Turns out it's commercial.
Yeah, well, that or you want horses and cows and all your farm animals. Anybody who knows me, but
farming it up.
Yeah, some places you can't have that stuff. Make sure you check everything for that piece of property first
Are you in a flood zone?
Yes.
Woo! Flood insurance.
Yes.
Going on up there, plus the damage. I mean, all that stuff. And again, if you're going to buy raw land, do it through a realtor. I really think, because I mean, everybody fancies themselves. And I mean, you're still going to close. You can still close with a lawyer. You don't have to do like a gentleman's agreement, throw some cash and roll out, But again, that lawyer is only going to look at the facts. He's not going to sit there and be like, did you read this? Do you understand this? Because he's going to assume that you did because you're taking responsibility for it. He's only there to close the property, make sure it's legally yours, not that it's your heart's desire. It's just mine. But I mean, agents should be checking the stuff, make sure it is what you want. You can make raw land, buying that raw land, any kind of conditions on it, you should start a due diligence period, because again, you need to make sure it perks. And you can do a perk test through DHEC. It usually takes about a week, maybe 2, to get that back to see if it will perk, meaning can you get water to it, all that kind of good stuff, make sure it's not contaminated. You need to putting the house, everybody wants to have their house way in the back. I don't want anybody saying, I'm right there with you. I mean, I'd be way in the back too.
But just remember, if you don't want a dirt drive, you're going to have to pay for that driveway.
Yeah. Now that raw builds, okay. Subdivisions, they include the driveway. Raw build, no. Builders assume but that driveway usually is not included in the raw build price. Concrete, I mean, it's expensive. If you got 5 acres, you're pushed to the very back because you want your privacy. You have to have that driveway all the way to the back. And I mean, a driveway alone costs you $20,000.
Oh yeah.
More.
At least.
Yeah.
At least.
So, you have to understand that when you're doing a raw build, you are getting everything, and you're getting a lot of clauses, and you're getting a lot of I didn't put the well price in there. This is just the build. Yeah. Because they assume you represent yourself, So, that raw build, that can be the death of a lot of people. I would say take your price and add about 20, 30 on top of it. Yeah. Because, they're doing it at a standard. They're not doing everything that goes into
and remember, inside, they're not buying in bulk, so they're not getting those bulk discounts. So those beautiful brushed bronze door handles that you picked out, they're going to be buying those one at a time, not 20 at a time.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're not getting it, which, I mean, you're doing something that's not the norm. So, you're going to pay not the norm prices. I hate when people say, well, you build the same house over there in Subdivision, they won't charge me that. I'm like, no joke, because it's 2 different things.
Yeah, exactly. You
got to do more work for it. When you are taking them this dream home plan, it's not going to be the price you think it's going to be. You can't go, I'm going to go off $100 a square foot, because there could be extra gables. People want to put all this fancy stuff on it. Maybe you're doing some kind of odd elevation. You
clear the lot. Well, then you're going to have to level the lot. With a subdivision, that's already done. Yeah.
Developed out. Yeah. They know where the pipes are going to go. Here, we may have to run pipes for a mile to get you your water. That's really probably not going to be in your upfront price. You have to ask for it, and then, when you start seeing the price of running pipes, you might be like, oh, I'm going to bring this house up way up here.
Yeah, exactly. We
just have a big backyard. Because, it's expensive. It is expensive. You got to think about them laying the pipes, cutting getting into the city's water, them going through this hard dirt. That's another thing, man. Red clay capital, it feels like. So, if you've got this red clay that you're building on top of, they might upcharge you, because that is a butt to dig. Yeah.
Like, so you're not out there with a shovel for that.
No. Excavator time.
Yes, exactly.
But that's the stuff, if you're building your dream home, and it is hard. It's a lot of pre-planning that goes into it. People hate planning. They hate it. Oh, yeah. But it's a lot of planning. It is not, I found this land, I'm just going to pop it and go. No, you need to do a lot to make sure that land's even good. You got to think about your plan. You need to go to a builder that is not the cheapest builder.
Yes, make sure you have a good reputation builder. Check their references, call other people, ask them, who'd you build a house for? Mm-hmm. Or if you know someone who had a house built, who built it? Well, what was your experience? Were they on time?
Did the bill go, 4 months?
Yeah. So are we talking 6 months later and you still aren't built? Or are we, how did the process go? Definitely check your references.
Yeah, and that even goes with companies. I know, like, there's a lot of companies that kind of fly by night, and they come, and you're like, oh man, they gave us the best price. Turns out they didn't do everything they were supposed to. They were way behind. It just goes on and on and on. And the first thing I say is, you paid for your quality. You paid for your quality. So the biggest thing, talk to an expert, know what you're doing, know the questions to ask before you get involved in it. And, send us an email, send us a message through our social media. Let us help you. Let us find someone that can help you hold your hand through the process and really make it a great one. Because it should be. It's your dream home, right?
Absolutely.
I'm sure that dream home is going to turn into one already. But, thank y'all for tuning in today. Please tune in again and send us a line, send us your questions. But goodbye for now, homies.